presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has described the judgment of both the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal and the Supreme Court as unfortunate. This is coming days after the Supreme Court's judgment, which dismissed PDP and the Labour Party's appeal against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Atiku was speaking at a World Press Conference at the PDP national headquarters in Abuja, where he maintained that the election was compromised by the electoral umpire INEC, describing the outcome of the 2023 polls as fraudulent. He also reiterated the need for electoral amendment and rotational presidency across the 6 geopolitical zones. Former Atiku's spokesperson and Ogun State PDP gubernatorial aspirant Segun Sowunmi joins us now to discuss Atiku's submissions at yesterday's press conference and what it says about his political future and how it could shape efforts at rebuilding PDP. Glad to have you join us on Newsday, Mr. Sowunmi. All right, then. So we just go
thank
to.
Yes,
thank you for being here. Now, the very first question, looking at the presidency, the response to what Atiku Abubakar had said. Bayo Onanuga, in a statement on Monday, said Atiku must now end his unprofitable bid to become the president of Nigeria. Onanuga further went on to say that there was no way Atiku and PDP could have won the election with the party platform under which he contested. What is your response to this?
I'll just say that there was no way President Bola Ahmed Tinubu could have been a candidate in that election, given the level of forgery and the absence of the minimal qualification. If people like Bayo Onanuga think that the best thing for us to do post-election is to begin to insult each other, we can also bring the punches. But I think what we tried to do with that press conference is to elevate the conversation, to make some comments that we believe are quite germane and which represents the views of most of Nigerians and the significant members of the judiciary as well, and also to profile some solution. If those of them who are sitting in the villa now do not have the dignified presence of mind to respond to the important things like what we suggested in terms of how to improve the election process, what we suggested about how to make sure that there's inclusivity in the country, what we suggested about the mirror status for Abuja, what we suggested about maybe trying to finish the election before we swear the person in, what we suggested about thinking about 50+1 and how other nations are doing, what we suggested around making sure that human element does not interfere much, what we suggested about making sure that we can also be at the level of, electronic, integrity of our election process. If the only thing that they have to say is to tell Atiku Abubakar, unprofitable, have we complained to him that we owe anybody for the monies that Atiku has spent? Have we asked them for fura or begged for gari or asked for tuwo or whatever it is that they are eating there? I think that they trivialize the conversation because they do not seem to get that the majority of the people in Nigeria are truly not satisfied with that judgment. We accept the finality of the Supreme Court pronouncement and that when you get to that level, there's nowhere else to go, but we don't want to be insulted. The first insult was by the president himself when he said enough of the shenanigans, as though people were playing, and now his leak spittle Bayo Onanuga has come with another less than presidential spokesperson response. But thankfully, he's not his presidential spokesperson. I'm sure people like Ajuri can measure their tone better than him. Maybe that's why he didn't even get that position in the first instance.
The senior advocate of Nigeria, Robert Clerk, believes that the lawyers of Atiku Abubakar were not professional enough in challenging President Bola Tinubu's victory in the 2023 election. He says there was lack of due diligence in their appeals. He talked about the limitation of time in presenting evidence, amongst other things. So I'm wondering, could it be that the defense for Atiku Abubakar was not tight enough? Is that why they got this ruling and is not really the Supreme Court that erred in its ruling?
Well, I think that if I hear you right, you were talking about the comment attributed to Chief Clerk, where he tried to say that it is only the lawyers that are representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that went to law school. And obviously, it is only the lawyers that represented President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that understand the process of election litigation. That's not what we believe. We believe our lawyers gave as good a charge as they could. We were a little bit concerned that the judges sometimes even went ahead and made the cases of the lawyers of the defendants even more than their lawyers made it. And we saw that, again, for the opt-in times, that when you come to court to try and get justice after an election, everything is tilted against you. The process is tilted against you. INEC, who is supposed to be an independent arbiter, is tilted against you. Their own lawyers are tilted against you. And unfortunately, even now, the judiciary seems to be willing to be tilted against you. So I think Chief Clerk is entitled to his opinion, no doubt about that. But there are lots of other very senior retired judges and very, very senior members of that same profession who feel that comprehensive and summary judgment has not taken place, because obviously the intention of the court must be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that being sui generis, there was also an opportunity for them to be looking for what is the absolute best interest of the society. And if the best interest of society is that you will find it difficult to prove forgery, you won't be able to prove multiple identity, you won't be able to prove all of the things that we couldn't prove. If the new law now is that we have to list the name of subpoenaed witnesses that we couldn't have brought since they were going to be subpoenaed and they could not treat them as the witness of the court, if it is the same Supreme Court that can write a judgment in Uzodinma number 4 to number 5, taking new evidence, and now says they can't take new evidence when even the integrity and everything about our country is at stake, what can we say? We've accepted it. We have said, okay, we're here. We have given you, Atiku has given some opinions on what he thinks can help this process, and he has said very frontally that, okay, I'll keep doing what I can do. We want young people now to push harder than they can push, since more of these issues are about them. But never mind, I'm here. I'll always be here to help deepen the process, offer alternative opinion, try to be as restrained and as presidential in my conversation and in my utterances. We can't compare it to them. They're not a people who are moderate like that. The president was using words like shenanigan on presidential candidates. And I guess we just have to say, we'll see how we proceed from here. Those of them who say election must give everybody, both the president, the winner, and the one that comes short, the absolute clarity that the best and the truth and honesty of purpose has taken place. And it must also front-load hope into the society so that younger elements in the society will not carry the burden of today, even for decades after. So I think that's all I can say on that. Good luck to Chief Clerk. I hear him, but we do not agree that senior members of the, of the profession, our sons and the sons of our other people who were in court, we do not agree that it's only their friends who represented them that passed through law school. We don't agree.